Journey with the Crystal Skull Explorers. A free ebook to share with all. With Joshua Shapiro and Katrina Head. Welcome. Thank you for your interest in our book and joining us for this brief exploration of one of the world's greatest mysteries known as the Crystal Skulls, or what the Mayans refer to as the Crystal Heads. We are Joshua Shapiro and Katrina Head, your hosts. Both of us have been involved with the Crystal Skulls for a number of years now. We collectively take care of 9 skulls which we work quite closely with and are known as the Crystal Kids. You will encounter all of these friends later within this ebook. People also know us as the Crystal Skull Explorers, as we have been working closely together since the spring of 2009. We have committed our lives to sharing the best information and insights we have collected about the skulls with the world. We believe that the very old crystal skulls, also called ancient skulls, which are publicly known within our world today, represent one of the most important artifacts that have ever been discovered within our recorded history. Furthermore, we feel that each crystal skull, whether of an older or more modern design, has a significant role to play in our future that will eventually assist mankind in many ways that will help us create a more peaceful world. This small ebook is just a short introduction about the crystal skulls and a little bit about our personal work with them. However, you will find at the end a few links to various other sources that you can visit to further your own personal studies or research. Additionally, we have included an overview of our new and more comprehensive book that will be available sometime in 2010 or 2011, which is entitled Journeys of the Crystal Skull Explorers. The first version of this work was released as an ebook in 2004, when Joshua was working with Blue Arrow Rainbow Eagle Woman from Holland. This specific book includes information that we have gathered from over 27 years of travels and experiences with the crystal skulls. It also recognizes and honors many of the different individuals who have and are playing a key role in educating the public about the crystal skulls. Thank you for taking the time to explore this ebook and bring us into your home. We hope you enjoy your stay with us. In peace, light, love and joy always. Joshua Shapiro and Katrina Head, your Crystal Skull Explorers. 1. An introduction. What is a crystal skull? Well, as this name or term implies, we are speaking about a skull-shaped object that is made from various types of quartz crystals: clear, amethyst, smoky, rose, etc. Most of us are familiar with quartz crystal, as this gemstone is a key component within all of our modern-day electronics devices that we use each and every day, including the computer you are using to read this book, BTW. There are many people today who work with their personal crystals in order to re-energize themselves, for healing, physical or emotional problems, or even to assist them in their development of their inner or spiritual gifts. However, when one begins to work with a quartz crystal that is in the shape of a human-like skull, other strange phenomena begin to occur around them. We have received numerous reports from people all over the world having some very special experiences connected to the crystal skulls. There are 3 different types of crystal skulls that are spoken about in the world today as follows. 1. New or contemporary. These are crystal skulls that are being manufactured by modern carvers. There are thousands upon thousands of such skulls in existence today. Since the middle part of the 1990s, there has been an explosion in the interest about the crystal skulls. There are quite a few people now, in all parts of our world, who have acquired their own personal skull to work with and use. The contemporary crystal skulls come in all shapes and sizes and are being primarily done by carvers in Brazil and China. These skulls can even be found for sale upon eBay. Old, a crystal skull that was created between 100 years ago to about 1,000 years ago. A number of these types of skulls have been discovered within or near ancient ruins in Mexico or Central America. In general, the appearance of these crystal skulls are somewhat crude in form, and upon a close examination of the surface of an old crystal skull, there are usually observed some type of tool marks left by its carver, similar to what can be detected with the newly made crystal skulls. Copyright Katrina Head and R. Joshua Shapiro, Portal de Luz, a smoky quartz crystal skull created by master carver from Brazil. 2. Ancient, a crystal skull which was fashioned at least 1,500 to 2,000 years ago or was created long ago. It has been suggested that some of these crystal skulls could literally be hundreds of thousands of years old based upon the studies conducted by various researchers. Also, it has been suggested, or implied, through various legends or oral traditions of different indigenous peoples that the ancient skulls are very, very old. Presently there are only a small number of such crystal skulls known publicly. As to the exact number of how many ancient skulls could exist, this answer is unknown. At the present time, we do not have an exact scientific procedure to be able to date when a piece of quartz was shaped into a skull. However, there are a number of different ideas and theories about how one can definitively identify a crystal skull as being ancient, or even old. Again, many of these types of skulls appear to have some type of link with different Mesoamerican cultures as well as possible ties with various Native American tribes or nations within North America. We have even heard rumors of crystal skulls that have been found or are known within South America and in other parts of the world as well. In general, we are unable to detect tool marks upon the surface of an ancient crystal skull. The implications of this condition suggest that either this particular skull was done completely by hand over a long period of time, or perhaps there was some form of very sophisticated and advanced technology that was utilized to make the skull, of which we are not familiar with as of yet. Most of the so-called very old or ancient crystal skulls we have personally met have a very intense energy field that surrounds them, of which many people are able to sense or feel. This energy field can be quite strong and powerful. There are a number of different theories that have been given as to explain how these ancient skulls may have been manufactured, some of which are quite fantastic in their scope. It has been difficult to trace the true history about where these objects as far as where they may have originated from or what parts of the world they have traveled through. Attempts have been made by various groups to work with trained sensitives in the presence of a crystal skull and record the impressions that they psychically receive. However, this method does not always guarantee success, as the historical information channeled by these psychics does not always agree and even can be conflicting at times. History of the crystal skulls. The public first became aware of the crystal skulls during the later part of the 19th century. At this time, many museums of the world became interested in displaying antiquities from past civilizations, Egypt, Greece, Mesoamerica, etc. Thus, in 1878, in the Musée d'El-Ham, the Museum of Man, in Paris, and in 1898, in the British Museum in London, each had a clear quartz skull on public display. It is believed that both of these crystal skulls originated from within Mexico, possibly connected with ancient ruins or tombs, during the 1860s, at the time of the French occupation of this country. Eventually both of these skulls somehow came into the possession of a French antiquities dealer, by the name of Bobin, and eventually found their way to the stated museums. 3. Copyright Zainbo Narobel, photographer, and R. Joshua Shapiro. Photograph of the crystal skull held by the British Museum since 1898. The first human-sized crystal skull placed on public display. During the research for our new book, Journeys of the Crystal Skull Explorers, we uncovered that there were a few other old or ancient crystal skulls that also made their way into private hands during the 19th century. Within recent years, these particular skulls are now held by various individuals who have publicly disclosed their existence and in some cases, are permitting other people to sit with them in private. As we entered into the first part of the 20th century, there was an entirely different group of crystal skulls that mysteriously surfaced. Within this group of skulls, there was also a strong connection with the ancestors of the indigenous people living in different parts of Mexico or Central America. Please find next a short description about some of the most well-known skulls that emerged at this time. The Mitchell Hedges crystal skull, named after famed explorer and adventurer, F. A. Mitchell Hedges, discovered in La Bandam, an ancient Mayan city in Belize in 1924. This skull is human-size and made from an absolutely clear piece of quartz that includes a removable jaw. It is an almost exact copy of our own modern bone skull. At the current time, this skull is in the hands of his adopted daughter, Anna Mitchell Hedges, since the time of her father's death in 1959. E.T., discovered by a Mayan family near Guatemala while digging on their property in 1906. This crystal skull was obtained by Joki Van Dieden in 1991 through a crystal store near Los Angeles. It is the only known human-size ancient crystal skull that is made from smoky quartz. In appearance it has a resemblance to a type of ET shape with a slightly pointed chin and similarly pointed in the top part of the head. This crystal skull now travels the world with its caretaker, who hopes to share it with other people, including world leaders, to meditate with for world peace. 4. Max, an 18 pounds, 8.2 kilograms, clear quartz crystal skull purportedly discovered in a Mayan tomb in Guatemala between 1924 to 1926. The skull was gifted by a Mayan shaman to a Tibetan-trained lama in 1970. It was housed within his healing center in Houston, Texas, and used as a healing tool to assist numerous patients who came to the center. Upon the lama's death, the crystal skull was gifted to his close friends, Carl and Joanne Parks. Currently Mrs. Parks is touring, primarily in the U.S., with her crystal skull, providing many people an opportunity to experience this ancient skull directly. Ami, the amethyst crystal skull. It is stated by its current owners that it was believed to have once been part of a collection of crystal skulls held by the Mexican President Diaz, from 1876 to 1910. Another report we have heard discuss that this skull may have been discovered in the Oaxaca area, Mexico, and was handed down from generation to generation through an order of Mayan priests. This is smaller than human-sized skull and weighs 8.5 pounds. 3.86 kilograms. The current location of Ami is unknown, as the skull was sold to a private party in August of 2009 from the prior owners, who were a group of businessmen in the San Jose area of California. So, why are the crystal skulls so important? There's no simple answer to this question. The study of the crystal skulls is very complex and seems almost never-ending. However, we would like to offer to our readers a few ideas or thoughts that we have gathered over the years from a number of sources. For your consideration, the crystal skulls function like our modern-day computers and were used in this capacity by various advanced civilizations in our past. They contain hidden knowledge and information that, when it is time for this to be revealed, will ultimately assist humanity to create a golden age of peace and harmony upon our world. They were a powerful tool for healing body, mind, and spirit within such cultures as the Mayans, the Aztecs, or even the Atlanteans. Relative to today, we have witnessed many people's lives being profoundly affected after having had an opportunity to spend time in the presence of a very old crystal skull, and even now, this type of phenomena is beginning to happen around the contemporary crystal skulls as well. Could the crystal skulls then be a type of mini-energy vortex, or better yet, a catalyst that is helping people to awaken to their true spiritual nature? Copyright Ramirez, Ami, an ancient amethyst crystal skull. Notice the circular indentation in the temple areas and its style of design. 5. In truth, the best way to truly understand what the crystal skulls are about and to appreciate them is to have your own personal experience with one. So if you have a chance to meet a crystal skull along your path, may we encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity and see what will happen to you? Feel free to contact us, as we would love to hear from you about your crystal skull encounters. We hope this short article was helpful to introduce to you the crystal skulls. This has been one of the most fascinating subjects for us to be personally involved with, as the skulls have and are continuing to take us on a grand adventure all over the world. We just never know what will happen to us next or where will be our next destination. Kind of exciting, don't you think? In the next section of our ebook, we offer a short biography about ourselves and present the members of our collective Crystal Skull family. Please note, if you would like to learn more about the crystal skulls, please feel free to check out either our full-featured ebook version of Journeys of the Crystal Skull Explorers, available since February 2004, or please see page 42 for a complete overview of the contents of the printed edition of this book in English, which is scheduled for release sometime before the end of 2010 or within 2011. We will be taking reservation for the new book at a reduced price before the book is officially released. Please contact us by email to discover how to take advantage of this special price. 1. The 3 classifications of crystal skulls discussed within this article were originated by the Society of Crystal Skulls International, in an attempt to distinguish the different type of skulls that exist within our world. 6. The crystal skull teachers and guardians. Biography. 7. Katrina Head. Katrina is a hands-on healer who is guided and assisted by an interdimensional group consciousness that is called the Melchizedek Guardians, or Katrina calls them the Guardians. Katrina enters into an altered state of awareness and is guided by the Guardians through numerous levels of intelligence and inner wisdom which exists beyond polarization and from a unity level, that is, all is one. The Guardians were introduced to Katrina by various other galactic civilizations, the Arcturians and the Sirian Council, who were working with Katrina first, because their natural energies were more compatible with the human energy. Now as Katrina works with the Guardians, she is able to receive the base of 12 and 12th dimensional energies which represent the 12-strand DNA body. Therefore when Katrina receives the Guardians' healing energies and modalities, she is able to share these frequencies with her clients when she is doing her healing work. Another part of Katrina's work is to act as a steward for people to help guide them through spiritual ascension or our ability to evolve into a higher level of consciousness in the physical. Within the last several years, Katrina has gone through a sequence of spiritual awakenings and inner openings as her physical vibration has shifted. This has resulted in her awakening to her true self as a star seed, or star person, and she is now able to see and experience directly multidimensional realities and beings. She is in constant communication with evolutionary forces of light, which is really what the Guardians represent. It so happens, her introduction to crystal skulls came when she was gifted a small rose quartz skull who told her its name was the Guardian. Therefore, having her spiritual gifts awakened, Katrina has many contacts with energies related to UFOs and the beings who pilot the ships. She is able to actually clearly see them as luminous beings and able to hear their communication. She is also able to take photographs when the light orbs are around and is sensitive to their energy as well. The Guardians act as a key source of guidance for Katrina in the work she is doing in the world to help bring forth a golden age of peace for our world. Lastly, when Katrina met Joshua and had a chance to meet his crystal kids, or the babies as she calls them, the first time she went through a tremendous inner activation as she felt a lightning bolt hit her. Katrina believes this activation helped to bring out more of her true self as the kids held inner information which resonated with her soul. Katrina is able to hear the kids speak to her as they have various requests and is a co-caretaker with Joshua now. In addition, Katrina has met the ancient crystal skull, Max, when he visited Atlanta and Dr. Brown's Atlantine crystal ball, which is now being called an Atlantine orb, that integrated energetically into Katrina so she is able to work with the orb essence in her healing work. 8R. Joshua Shapiro. Since Katrina Head has entered in his life in the early spring of 2009, they have been working closely together. The explorers offer various crystal skull presentations, lectures and workshops to the public, as well as a unique type of private consultation with their personal skulls that combines their individual spiritual and creative talents. In the picture shown here, we see Joshua holding the Brazilian carved crystal skull known as Portal de Luz, Portuguese for Portal of Light, who has traveled with him all over the world. Joshua is the author of various books, including his first book about the crystal skulls entitled Mysteries of the Crystal Skulls Revealed, written jointly with Sandra Bowen and late Fr. Nick Notarino. This book was published in 1989, and there is also a Portuguese edition issued in Brazil in 1993. He has released various versions of his new book, Journeys of the Crystal Skull Explorers, since 2004, as an e-book and printed edition in 3 foreign languages in Europe. Joshua is the co-founder of VJ Enterprises, in Illinois, USA, which has been in operation since 1992, dedicated to sharing the best information that describes how our planet will be transformed into a golden age by the year 2013. Additionally, Joshua has offered a number of other public talks throughout the world that discuss current information about UFOs, the Bible Code and the Hollow Earth. He is actively involved with the non-profit organization, the World Mystery Research Center. This foundation is dedicated to studying various world mysteries which are believed to inherently contain vital encoded information necessary to create a peaceful world. He is the originator of a story for an action-adventure film that portrays how world peace will happen by the end of 2012, waiting to be made. The script is completed. 9. Joshua has been involved with the crystal skulls since 1983 when he saw one made out of amethyst in Northern California. He felt such a strong connection with this artifact that since that time he has devoted his life and resources to sharing the best information he can about these crystalline artifacts with other people all over the world and the future role they will play to help our planet see world peace. He has had an opportunity to privately visit with a number of the well-known crystal skulls in the world, including the Mitchell Hedges Crystal Skull of Love, E.T., the British Museum Crystal Skull, Synergy, and AMI. Meet the members of our Crystal Skull family. Crystal Skull family? Portal de Luz Geronimo Golden Eagle Eye Little Indian Princess the King / Iolani Purple Star Bright / Zippy One Eye the Guardian and on Atahalpa Tatrula? Pictures of our crystal skulls, the Crystal Kids, and a brief description to acquaint you with their relative size and what could be the service offered by each of the crystal skulls shown here. 10. Portal de Luz. Portal of Light weighs 10 pounds, 4.5 kilograms, and is the largest crystal head in our family. He is made of light gray smoky quartz crystal which was mined and carved in Brazil. His first initiation occurred at a Mayan sunrise ceremony conducted by Mayan priests from Guatemala and Sedano, Arizona in 1999 at a crystal skull conference sitting with a number of old and young skulls. Since the summer of 1999, Portal has worked closely with Joshua, participating in his lectures and private consultations, now with Katrina and the other Crystal Kids. When an individual chooses Portal for their consultation or healing session, this represents a person who is seeking more balance in their life or wishes to have a greater clarity about their life's purpose. When Portal interacts with others, he will often change his weight and color. He loves to participate in our crystal skull research and to work with the natural energies of Mother Earth. He is our musical skull who is often seen dancing with his papa, Joshua, during our public presentations. 11. Geronimo Golden Eagle Eye. Geronimo Golden Eagle Eye is just under 2 pounds. Almost clear dark smoky, cola smoky, quartz crystal skull who was a gift to Joshua from Blue Arrow Rainbow Eagle Woman, his last ex-wife from Holland, in 2004. At this time, Joshua had just one crystal skull, Portal de Luz, and thought he would never accept another. However, when he first viewed Geronimo, his shortened name, he was so clear inside, he felt drawn to accept him. Now normally it takes a few months to work privately with a new crystal skull that one obtains before sharing him/her with others. But Geronimo, after about a week of being with Joshua, was already out in the public at a crystal skull meeting in Germany. In the beginning, Joshua wasn't quite sure what work Geronimo would do, although he had a Native American name. He would constantly help Joshua to be a bit more balanced energetically during the private sessions, as he was not offered to the clients for a period of time that Joshua offered for the public. But eventually he joined the group of working skulls and is one of the most popular crystal skulls chosen in our sessions. However, in 2007 is when Geronimo really started to come into his own. He became the favorite skull of the leader of a group of shamanic drummers in Hungary and loves to be around native drumming. He also became the favorite skull for a Native American Indian chief in Missouri met in 2008 and was gifted some special energies from this tribe. He has helped Joshua in many ways with his personal energies as well as being a protector skull. In a way, Geronimo paved the way for more crystal skulls to come into Joshua's circle, which Joshua and Katrina now affectingly call their Crystal Kids. So as you can see in this ebook, the circle has grown to 9 skulls now. 12. Little Indian Princess. Little Indian Princess is a 1-pound rose quartz skull and was made by the same carver in Brazil's Portal, and Geronimo. She was a gift in 2007 to Joshua from Blue Arrow Rainbow Eagle Woman, who was the person to inspire the name of this crystal skull. At this time, Joshua was preparing to leave Holland and had two crystal skulls which had a predominantly male energy, so Little Indian Princess arrived to bring a feminine energy to this circle. Little Indian Princess is the crystal skull in our circle who emanates a very pure and loving energy which in general will touch people in their heart, whether this person is a man or a woman. She is usually not one of our skulls who is seen out in front as she does her heart work behind the scenes. Little Indian Princess played a very important role, besides helping to open up her daddy's heart, Joshua, in that she also opened the door for more feminine-based skulls to come to us, which followed in 2008, including the arrival of the rose quartz skull, called the Guardian, with Katrina in 2009. For Katrina, Little Indian Princess has a very gentle and loving energy, but she has acted as a catalyst to electrify and really opened up my heart energy. She also works with the higher heart energy. The higher heart energy is what activates the crystal records that are within each of us. Once I started working with Little Indian Princess, this is what she activated within me, these crystal records. Katrina saw with her inner vision that the higher heart color becomes a crystal lotus blue, which is directly connected to a level called the Kundalini universe, which is where our cosmic chakras, versus our physical body chakras and light bodies, exist. 13 Purple Star Bright / ZP19. This amethyst crystal skull is slightly over 2 pounds. Joshua acquired this skull from a friend in Chicago, Steve Roseley, who sells crystal skulls and many gemstones in his store on the north side of Chicago. Steve had a booth at a conference in Chicago where Joshua and Bill Holman, the guardian of the Mitchell Hedges crystal skull of love, both spoke, and Bill gave people a chance to see his wondrous crystal skull. Steve granted us permission to show the Mitchell Hedges crystal skull at his booth. Well, Joshua had a strong feeling that the Three Musketeers, Portal, Geronimo and Indian Princess, they wanted to have an amethyst brother/sister. So when Joshua wasn't busy with the interviews for the TV show that was filming there, or helping Bill with the Skull of Love, he walked over to see what skulls Steve had for sale. There were a few amethyst skulls present, but there was one which kind of was speaking to Joshua, this one, so he traded about 12 of his old crystal skull books to acquire this crystal skull. Now it was taking a while for a name to come, but Joshua was drawn to the skull's eyes, and it appeared as if one eye was open, the right, and the other eye was closed, so the name started at One Eye. But then one day, as Joshua was driving his car to do some errands, he heard the spirit of the skull come to him, and she said, "Me name is not One Eye, it's Zippy One Eye." So Joshua thought, who am I to argue if my skull wishes this name? Purple Star Bright, the skull's other name, was the name given by Blue Arrow Rainbow Eagle Woman when she saw a digital photo of the skull. She works with the feminine energies of a person and opens one up to their intuitive side for balance with one's masculine side, regardless whether you are man or woman. Zippy shows you that once you are led intuitively by your inner guidance, the perfect life direction for you to take will be the balance of your masculine/feminine energy. 14. The King/Iolani, the King, the one who points the way, or the masculine side name, or Iolani. The feminine side name is what is called a star being skull and is less than 1 pound, made from amethyst quartz. Joshua has tried to discover who the carver is that is making these type of skulls. Hundreds or thousands are being made, but all we know is that it is a Chinese carver. Some people feel the shape of this skull resembles the gray aliens somewhat, but for us, this skull has never held such type of frequencies or energies. Joshua received this crystal skull as a gift from Sharon White Elk Woman from Kent in England when he participated in the fall of 2008 in a crystal skull conference, or taster, as we called it, in Glastonbury in England. White Elk Woman told Joshua that a specific crystal skull had requested to go with him. The masculine name for the skull did not come until about 2 months later, when Joshua was visiting a friend in Los Angeles and did a meditation with the skull with music from his MP3 player, right before going to sleep. Here is what happened. First Joshua felt to raise this skull in his left hand, high in the air above him and away from his body. Then he felt and saw, Joshua's gift of inner sight is not so strong, a powerful purple beam of light come from above him and cover his hand and arm, holding the skull. He felt a communication on a feeling level with dimensional beings. Then he heard, "My name is the King, and I am the one who points the way," and he felt the King literally moving him off in a direction, representing a direction of life he should travel. In 2009, some people felt a more feminine aspect to this crystal skull, and at a small presentation we gave in the Atlanta area, a good friend of Katrina's in attendance was holding this crystal skull and said the feminine side felt like Liolani, a woman's name from Hawaii, so we decided to keep it. This skull works with people who are star people or ET souls, and shows how such people are able to integrate their star self with their human side. Katrina also feels, perhaps these were the dimensional beings who contacted Joshua. The King/Liolani also is connected with the others. 15. The Guardian. The Guardian is a small pink quartz crystal skull which weighs less than 1 pound. This is the first crystal skull that Katrina received, which was gifted to her by a friend during Christmas, 2008. Do not let the size fool you, because it is an amazing tool. When Katrina received this skull, it immediately began to work with her in wondrous and powerful ways, creating special manifestations. The first manifestation was confirmation that she would soon meet her soul family and began a new and exciting job in the spiritual field. At the time the Guardian arrived, Katrina was going through a major shift of the frequencies within her personal energy field, as new spirit guides were coming to help her at the time. It was not long after that she was told that these energies, the guides, were the guardians. See Katrina's bio. The Guardian has a very gentle and sweet energy. She brings in a frequency that gives to the person she is helping a balance of harmony and a strong guidance to assist you to move forward in your personal path. The Guardian offers to you an energy which helps you balance your feminine and masculine part, as she shares with you privately how to use the power of both energies together. A contact with the Guardian provides for you courage in your life, as well as the ability to stand in the power of who you are. When Katrina first received the Guardian, it was very pink in color, but as you can see in the photo, it has become almost totally white. The calming and flowing energies within the Guardian continue to change constantly in all of her travels due to her contact with the angelic kingdom. 16. Andon. Andon is a small clear quartz skull that was carved in Brazil, which is less than 1 pound. Katrina received this skull when we ordered skulls for all the passengers of our UFO crystal skull journey to Peru in November of 2009. Katrina's first taste of Peru. Katrina immediately began to connect with Andon when we received him from Brazil. As soon as the carvers was shaping the piece of quartz crystal, he telepathically told Katrina that his name was Andon. Andon has strong Egyptian energies and a blue dragon energy. When Katrina first received Andon, it was truly a reunion for them. Katrina took pictures of Andon when he arrived, and Katrina could see an image of the Sphinx. Andon has a higher energy which creates a doorway leading Katrina to have an experience of a higher reality system of source energy. Katrina senses a feeling of liberation and freedom when working with Andon. The Law of One. When taking Andon to Peru, he received and recorded a blue dragon in the back of his head, and you can see the shape of the dragon. Andon revealed to Katrina that this is an ancient dragon technology picked up through the doorway of Oumuamua, and he revealed to Katrina that this works with the ley lines across Mother Earth, both horizontally and vertically, connecting to the 4 faces of man. Andon is able to work with people in regaining and reinstating cellular records of who they truly are and begin experiencing their soul path. 17. Atahalpa. Atahalpa is a 9-10-ounce frosty clear quartz skull that was made by a carver in Brazil around September of 2009. He, with another one of the crystal skulls we received for our group going to Peru later that year. The quartz was mined in the state of Minas Gerais in Brazil, as is true of several of the other kids. After Joshua was called to select this crystal skull, he told Joshua that he was forbidden to work with him until they were actually in Peru. Now, the name of Atahualpa, comes from the name of the last Inca emperor, who was tortured by the invading Spanish and then eventually killed. The crystal skull did not receive his name to Joshua, as his primary caretaker until we were in Peru with our spiritual group. Joshua had visited Peru several years ago, in a remote city in the Andes Mountains in the north called Cajamarca, the last home city of Atahualpa, before he was executed by the Spanish. Joshua felt a connection at that time with the spirit of Atahualpa. Then, while we were in Lake Titicaca, before returning to America, the spirit of the crystal skull asked Joshua to be given this name. But right after the name of the skull was decided, while we were still in the sacred lake, Joshua did his first personal meditation with Atahualpa, listening to the music of the group called Cusco on his MP3 player. Atahualpa showed Joshua that he had a past life with Katrina as Inca and that they had lived in Lake Titicaca before. Joshua is not ready to reveal who they were during that time just yet, as it is hard to believe. While in Peru, Joshua observed how Atahualpa was recording and absorbing all the frequencies of the sacred sites the group visited within his vibrational structure. So this crystal skull holds the energy of Peru and helps a person to prepare for visiting Peru. 18 Tachula. Editor's note: due to the unusual nature of how we acquired Tachula and where the skull was discovered, we have decided that in order to tell the story properly about this skull we will allow more than one page to be shared compared to what we have done with the other crystal kits. Thanks. Tachula is a skull made out of clear obsidian with a piece of cranberry obsidian that lies in the back of the head. Tachula was retrieved from a construction project and dig in Mongolia, China, where they were building a dam. As they were digging into the ground, they discovered Tachula and a number of other non-quartz skulls. This occurred during 2009. Katrina received this skull from a good friend of Joshua's, whose name is Lionfire, based out of Colorado. Lionfire has been interested in the crystal skulls for a long time and naturally was familiar with the work that Joshua has done over the years. Finally, the two of them were able to meet near Santa Fe, New Mexico in December of 2008 as both were present to do their own type of public crystal skull work. When Joshua met Lionfire at this time, Lionfire had like 30-40 non-quartz skulls with him all coming out of China. These skulls, like Tachula, are all stylized and are not a representation of the human bone skull. Lionfire has contacts with the people who are digging up these skulls and then tries to find the right person for their new home. Going back to the first time we met Tachula, this took place during our visit to Sedano, Arizona in December of 2009. Lionfire was nearby to attending a special 19 conference that featured 13 grandmothers of various indigenous tribes. Again, Lionfire had a number of these skulls with him and shared them at the conference, plus he gifted one of these gemstone skulls to one of the grandmothers. Anyway, the person who was hosting Lionfire was very close to the room we were renting in a private home. We were able to visit with Lionfire twice. It was during the second visit that activities began to happen between Katrina and Tachula. Of course we didn't know this was the skull's name at this time. When Katrina saw Tachula during our first visit, this skull began to speak to her directly, but she wasn't paying attention, and because she was tired, she just dismissed it. Besides, Tachula was sitting with 13 other similar type of skulls that were retrieved from the same Mongolian dig. However, during our second visit, Tachula once again began speaking to Katrina, and this time it was harder to ignore the skull. Then, when Lionfire placed Tachula into Katrina's hands, Katrina had not said one word to anyone present about that. Tachula was talking telepathically to her. Katrina realized this skull wanted to go with her. Lionfire intuitively felt that Katrina was supposed to have this skull, so an arrangement was made for Tachula to go back home with us as we left Sedona. Also, when Tachula was given to Katrina, the skull immediately began to tell her his name and explained to Katrina that his purpose was to be with all our crystal skulls and ourselves as our protector, a protector of the energetic field around the crystal kits. Now, for us, Tachula has a Mayan energy. Katrina feels that she has worked with Tachula in the multi-universes and has had a special past lifetime with Tachula, which is why Tachula recognized her. Tachula gave Katrina specific instructions as to how he is to be used. For example, Tachula is to sit behind the other crystal skulls in our private sessions reofferent. He is not to be held by the participants unless he specifically states which person he wishes to be held by. However, Tachula likes to be held at our public events and the workshops. Tachula has access to a universal energy of protection that works with the spiraling essence of the universe. Tachula sends out a message about healing energies which are linked to universe upon universe, planet upon planet, and a being upon a being. Tachula works with an individual's DNA coding, and this is something that cannot be understood by one's intellect. It is what it is. 20 hidden messages within our crystal skull family, unusual pictures derived from of our crystal skulls using a digital process. See what images you can observe within the pictures in this section. 21 Portal de Luz. Images to look for. Do you see at the top of the skull the image of the little people of the Cherokee, which is also called Yunditsundi, meaning race of spirits? In the middle of the skull do you see the Asian deity, Kuan Yin? Further below there is an animal spirit, a wolf, and maybe you see a spaceship at the bottom. 22 Portal de Luz. Images to look for. To the middle, in the lighted area, at the far side on both parts of the head are two strange beings with a sort of light tower or energy tower in the middle. Or do you see an Egyptian-looking person or deity again in the center? Throughout the skull are many images of cats with perhaps an angel at the bottom. 23 Geronimo Golden Eagle Eye. Images to look for. Do you see in between the eyes a Native American? And what about wings at the sides in the middle? From the middle to the right there are animal spirits with many symbols throughout the skull that look Native American. In the nose area it seems like there is a Native American camp with teepees and there is a horse with a person on it. 24 Geronimo Golden Eagle Eye. Images to look for. Do you see at the top of the head a Peruvian knight? The same man Katrina saw at the Temple of the Monkeys near Cusco, Peru. Also around this Peruvian knight do you see eagle wings? In the middle of the nose is a phoenix rising. 25 Little Indian Princess. Images to look for. At the top, do you see another crystal skull? Before this are easily seen wings. There is a person in the middle with a breastplate of a sword with a cross-looking symbol. At the bottom is a temple of light. 26 The King/Iolani. Images to look for. At the top of the skull do you see the shape of a cat? There is a Peruvian-looking woman in the middle of the skull. How about some angels just below the bottom to the left and right-hand sides of the skull, playing their harps? Finally below the angels are dolphins. 27 The King/Iolani. Specific image to see. At the very top, in the dark purple area, is a strange face. As we move to the center there appears to be a sort of crystal chamber with all type of alien beings surrounded this chamber from top to bottom. 28 And on. Images to look for. In the middle we see an ET being that is standing in front of several spaceships behind him/her. At the very top is a strange face of a being and it appears on top of the head are small skulls. Below center looks like an African mask. 29 And on. Images to look for. It appears like two celestial beings at the top in the center, one on top of each other. It feels like there are human eyes in the skull eye sockets and perhaps an alien being in the nose area. 30 Tachula. Images to look for. Do you see at the bottom a winged being? Perhaps there is a strange spaceship at the top of the skull. And below the winged being, there is a kind of strange indigenous symbol, or maybe a stone statue like maybe African or Mayan. 31 What is going on here? You might be wondering, what is the source of these images that you have been seeing upon the last few pages of this ebook? Each one was created from a digital photograph taken from one of our personal crystal skulls. Then we used a computer graphics program to perform a special series of processes upon it that produced the final result you see. We have read that the Mayans used a similar technique to study hidden messages related to some of their special symbols involving reverse images. In our comprehensive book, Journeys of the Crystal Skull Explorers, We will take a much closer look at the details about this interesting imaging technique as we applied it to various pictures of some of the ancient crystal skulls which are featured there. As you may have noticed under each image, we provided for you some suggestions about what type of pictures or distinct images you might observe. Don't worry if you are not able to see these images right away, it just takes some practice. We would recommend, however, that when you do have the proper time to really see it and gaze at these special pictures, that you will most likely see a great deal of other recognizable images, such as people, places, animals or certain activities, etc. If you stand farther away from your computer monitor, you may be able to observe other scenes or discernible objects that you couldn't see close up. Another technique you can use is to adjust the magnification size for viewing the page within Adobe Reader Registered Trademark or Acrobat Registered Trademark, and by reducing or enlarging the image on your screen, you will see many other hidden pictures as well. When we have shared these special images in our public lectures, we always get "Us" and "Us" from our audience. We decided to include this section in our free ebook because it is one of the most fun things we have uncovered to do with pictures of the crystal skulls. So sit back and enjoy. 32. A suggestion for working with the pictures in the book. We would like to offer to you a simple technique for working with the pictures in this book that various people in the crystal skull community use and are having good success with. This technique can be done with either a normal picture of a skull, such as one from our crystal family, or you can experiment with the special images from the last section. First, just casually glance through this book and observe if any specific picture or image speaks to you, or if you find yourself strongly drawn to look at one in particular. Don't try to rationalize why you feel this strong connection to the picture, or that specific crystal skull, just trust that there is a reason for this. Then print out this picture on your printer and take a personal quartz crystal, or crystal skull, and place it on top of this picture for 48 hours. If you don't have a personal crystal to use, see if you can find one at a local New Age or gem shop, but again, don't just pick any quartz crystal, take one that calls out to you and feels correct. The purpose of this exercise is to transfer a part of the energy that is linked to the particular crystal skull you have chosen into your personal crystal. It has been observed on numerous occasions that when a person links into any facsimile of a crystal skull, such as a photograph, they can experience to some degree the essence of that object's energy. We have personally worked with this system and done so with a number of friends and clients, and have been pleasantly surprised by the results that have happened. Once your crystal, or crystal skull, has been charged, begin to work with it in some fashion. For example, you can hold it during your personal meditations, sleep with the crystal under your pillow, or just have it in your pocket when you go out of your home. It can be used as a healing stone or just to hold it when you are feeling low in your physical energy. You can even work with this crystal to protect yourself with a positive and strong energy field around you, or to amplify and increase your vitality. 33. Crystal Skull Meditations for World Peace. Number 1. Weekly World Peace Meditation, working in alignment with the energy of the crystal skulls, held each Sunday at various times. Description by Joshua. Today we live in very challenging times. Many people are concerned about our future and if humanity will ever be able to live together in peace and harmony. In our studies we have uncovered a number of different prophecies originating from various indigenous cultures in the world. The common theme contained within these various prophecies deals with specific warnings about potential disasters humanity could face in the future if we do not change our way of life. The best solution to prevent such a future, we believe, is for the people of our world to have a much greater awareness and become more responsible for the well-being of our planet, the Mother Earth, and also to respect all life that lives upon her. If we do not do so in a timely fashion, according to these prophecies, this could result in severe and dire consequences that could end life as we know it. Now, it is not our intention by making such statements to create more panic and fear in our world, as we already have enough of this. However, at the same time, the prophecies act as a reminder that we live in a time where some very important decisions must be made for taking the proper actions which will transform our world in a positive way until we really can create a global peace. So the main question that we can each ask ourselves is, Can we do something that will make a difference and truly prevent or diminish these dark forecasts from ever coming true? We believe that the answer to this question is absolutely yes. Global peace starts with peace within each of us. Therefore, we invite you to participate with us in a special meditation, which was inspired by Spirit, that can help us in creating a better world. We have been performing this mediation since the beginning of 2003 when it was initiated through our main Crystal Skull website. This meditation is a little bit different from similar ones in that we work directly with the energy of the crystal skulls. Of course, we recognize that any meditation which focuses upon sending of a good and loving energy to our planet and its inhabitants is worthwhile, as each meditation that is performed it works synergistically with all the other groups who are offering a similar activity. Over the years, we have had people join us for this mediation who are living all over the world. Most of these individuals have a strong interest in the crystal skulls, but that is not a prerequisite to be able to participate with us. We have developed what we believe is a simple method that allows anyone to be able to link into the energy and essence of the crystal skulls, which we are using as our main focus. The crystal skulls definitely help us in amplifying the peaceful energies that we are sending out to the world during this exercise. In order to allow as many people as possible who wish to participate with us, we have set up the meditation to occur at 3 different time slots. Thus, no matter what time zone a person lives in, they can participate at a reasonable time. If you would like to join us for this meditation, you will find the instructions to do so 34 in the following sections. Even if you do not have your own crystal skull, you can still join us and are very welcome to do so. Time for the meditation: we recommend that you perform your meditation to last for about 10 or 15 minutes, or you can just allow the energy of the meditation to guide you for its duration. The 3 specific time periods we are conducting our meditation are shown below. Please check to determine which one is the best for you. The local time that is given is based on the perspective of a person living within the U.S., Eastern Standard Time, New York City, England, GMT, or the time zone in Sydney, Australia. Meditation time number 1, 8 a.m., Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m., England, 10 p.m., Sydney. Meditation time number 2, noon, Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m., England, 2 a.m., Sydney, on Monday. Meditation time number 3, 6 p.m., Eastern Standard Time, 11 p.m., England, 8 a.m., Sydney, on Monday. Suggestion: if for some reason you are not able to join us on a specific Sunday during any of the times listed above, there is a special technique known as programming your meditation ahead that could be implemented instead. How this technique works is that you go ahead and perform your meditation at a more convenient time during the current week, but that you set up in your mind the intention that the energy you will generate from your session will move forward in time so that it will coincide and link with the rest of us at the specified time period you chose from above. Thus, by using this system, you will still be able to join us on the next Sunday and never miss a beat. An overview for the meditation philosophy behind the meditation. On the very first day Joshua, had received the crystal skull known as Portal de Luz in 1999, he showed me an image in my mind about how all of the crystal skulls that exist upon our planet are interconnected through some type of etheric energy network. 35. He told me that within each piece of quartz, there exists the potential of an interdimensional doorway that can open up or become activated when this specific piece of quartz, or crystal skull, is awakened. Once the crystal is activated, it can begin to receive and project out various fields of energies and information that can originate from any crystal skull that is linked to this network. This is very similar to how the internet works, as all of the computers on the net are interconnected and can send and receive information from each other. Furthermore, during the experiments we have conducted on behalf of the World Mystery Research Center, see the full details of our tests in our new book to be released, we have received information that there might exist a very large clear crystal skull in rotation at the center of the Earth. That is, this implies that our planet does not have a molten core at the center but could be completely hollow, which is the master skull to coordinate the flow of energy and information through this entire network. Since we believe that each crystal skull is unique unto itself and specializes in certain specific frequencies of energies that he/she contains baddies for healing, awakening consciousness, activating one's spiritual gifts, a vessel of universal wisdom, etc. This large master skull can and will select the appropriate energies to emit through each individual skull depending upon the unique situation at the time. We believe that the determination of what energies the central skull will send through to the other ones is related to each skull's current location and how that particular crystal skull is being utilized by its owner, or caretaker, at that precise moment, such as in our meditation. Thus, if our understanding is correct about how this mediation is truly functioning, then each crystal skull that participates in this activity will emanate a powerful and peaceful energy through it. This energy comes from the crystal skull's connection to the etheric energy network and is then sent out to the local geographic region which the meditator resides. The key for this process to work well is that a human being is required to activate and open the dimensional door within their respective skull, or crystal, in order for the higher spiritual energies from the network to be broadcast out through the skull. Additionally, we have experienced during the meditations that each participant will receive and channel a portion of this special energy through their own body, which can be very uplifting, healing and electrifying. Therefore, one of the main goals we have for this meditation is that by working with a large number of people from all over the world, we are able to create many points of light which are all connected together at the same time. Can you visualize what we are describing here and see its potential? 36. How to perform the meditation. The second part of the vision that I had received from Portal was related to the crystal skull etheric network itself. I was shown a method of how a person could fully link into this network that involved a special device that looked like an antenna. Each participant has the ability to inwardly call for this antenna to appear in their location, which is created by a special mental visualization. For example, for some people this antenna could just literally appear in front of you when they call it. This purpose of this antenna is to help the participant to more fully connect with the energy of the etheric crystal skull network and to bring a part of this energy into their individual meditation space. If you will look at the diagram to your left, you will see I have provided a simple representation of what this antenna can look like, which you can use as a reference point. One of the keys to the success of our meditation is to energetically connect with this antenna, so please just do your best to visualize it. The antenna itself is actually more spherical and round than the flat representation we have given here. Instruction for the meditation. To begin your meditation, first decide which room in your home you would like to conduct your session in. Then find a comfortable place to sit or lie down. Shortly, I will discuss how to hold or position the crystal or crystal skull you will use in the meditation. Now visualize in your mind the etheric energy antenna and position it at the very center of your room. Again, the reason for visualizing this, imaginary or invisible, antenna is so you are able to link into the crystal skull etheric network and then receive the special vibrational frequencies that emanate directly from the network. As you begin to move into your mediation, see an energy beam that shoots out from the top and bottom of the antenna and extends upward and downward to infinity. Also make sure that you see a somewhat smaller antenna that extends outward from the main one at the exact place where the main antenna meets the floor in your room, as 37 shown in the diagram above. This small segment or addition stands upward at a 35% degree angle. For those participants who have their own crystal skull to work with during the meditation, here is our suggestion how to proceed. Note, if you do not have a crystal skull, please view the next section for some alternative ways you may still be able to participate with us. Hold your crystal skull in your hands in any fashion that is comfortable for you in the moment. It is not important which direction the front part of the skull faces, only that the position of your hands feels correct. Please note, each time you perform this meditation, the positioning of the skull can and will change over time. For example, if you are in a sitting position, the crystal skull might rest comfortably on your lap, or if you are in a lying down position, then the skull could be placed by your side or on top of a part of your body. Further, we have found that it can be quite helpful if you are able to listen to a beautiful and/or peaceful music in the background during the meditation. The use of headphones can be handy as it will prevent outside noises from distracting you. We have discovered that when a participant adds music to this meditation, this can greatly amplify the energy present and the intensity of their experiences during their session. Now take a minute or two, possibly even before your meditation starts, to do a relaxation or breathing exercise to help calm yourself down and release any anxiety or tension from your day. At this point, you are now ready to enter into the active part of the meditation. To begin with, first visualize a beam of light in whatever color comes to you, emanating from the main antenna and touching your crystal skull in its third eye. Feel the energy begin to build up and expand within your crystal skull. Eventually the skull will emit a loving and peaceful energy within the room or space you are situated, which will begin to travel and move inside of yourself until it flows throughout all parts of your body. Usually we find that if we visualize the energy coming from the antenna to be pink in color, this is quite helpful and the most powerful. The color of pink represents the vibration of unconditional love. Next, after a period of time, you will know or feel when this powerful and harmonious energy that the skull has given to you will start to expand and move outside of your physical body. So, see or feel this loving energy fill the entire room you are situated in. Then after a minute or two, the energy will continue to expand and cover your entire home. Next, this loving and peaceful energy, which will be a specific color, will continue to expand and it is filling every part of the city you live in. Once again, after another minute or so, watch as this loving energy continues expanding and is now covering your entire provincial area, that is, your state, province or district. Eventually, visualize and observe this loving energy completely covering the country that you reside in. And lastly, watch this special healing energy cover our entire planet, touching all the living beings that inhabit our beautiful mother, the plants, the animals, and the people. As you are going through this process, don't feel rushed. Take your time and move from place to place as it is comfortable to do so. We suggest at this point during your meditation, that for just a few minutes you might want to remain with the vision of the earth surrounded by this loving, pink, energy. 38 Then, just before you are ready to return to your physical body, pick one location on our world that you feel drawn to, where there is a great deal of unrest or confusion, and send to this location a little extra light and loving energy. One quick note to offer in this is, when we are visualizing this peaceful loving energy being shared with our world, all we can do is offer this energy to all the living beings to choose how he/she, and each must decide of their own accord in which way to utilize it. Now, after you are finished, begin to return to your physical body by retracing your steps back the way you came, from the view of the earth, to your country, to your provincial area, etc. When you come back to your body, you may wish to take a few deep breaths to help ground yourself, as well as feel your feet firmly touching the ground before you open your eyes. And then just take a few minutes to enjoy the special experiences that you just had. Suggestion: if you happen to have more than one crystal skull, why not invite a friend, family member or neighbor to join us during our time together one Sunday? What to do if you don't have your own crystal skulls? If this is your situation, you can still participate and meditate with us, working with the energies of the crystal skulls. Here are a few suggestions about how you can do this. 1. If you have a picture of a crystal skull that you personally feel an affinity for, such as one shown in this ebook, you can stare at its image during your meditation to bring in the energy of the skulls into your room. Then visualize the special antenna that links to the energy network and imagine that you are holding in your hands the crystal skull you are gazing at. The rest of the mediation follows as we have described in earlier sections. 2. Alternatively, you can work with the piece of quartz that you have charged and activated with a picture of a crystal skull, as we discussed earlier, and then hold it, as it takes the skull's place of course, and do the meditation. Again, you can pretend as if the crystal you are holding is a real crystal skull. If you prefer to work with a picture of an older or ancient crystal skull, we have set up on our Crystal Skull website a page consisting of such pictures. Some of the people who have joined our meditation and first heard about it through our website actually use these pictures. There are 12 different crystal skulls, ancient, old and contemporary, shown here, and again, you can just print out this page on your printer and select the crystal skull that seems appropriate to work with for the meditation. Please see http://www.v-j-enterprises.com/skullpictures.html39. 3. Another option is to take one of your personal crystals that you have at home and try to see if you can find an actual crystal skull that someone has who lives close to your location. Then, just place your quartz crystal near their skull for a period of time, 15 minutes at least is recommended, and let it be charged. 4. Finally, I have met some people who don't need a physical crystal skull or quartz skull present but still have the ability to visualize one in their mind instantaneously or even at times see a crystal skull that just appears right in front of them through their inner gift of clairvoyance. So this is just another option or method a person can use to participate in our group meditation. Other suggestions and final ideas. We have found that the most important ingredient for having a powerful experience during this meditation is to not plan ahead or logically figure out what will happen during your session. Most people have discovered that as soon as they start to work with their crystal skull or the energy connected to them, things have a habit of happening by themselves. We find this spontaneous approach is the best way to conduct your meditation and to fulfill the collective goal for sending out the most loving and peaceful energy to our world as we can, amplified by the energy of the skulls. In reports we have received from various participants, some people have found the energy connected to this meditation to be quite powerful or conversely felt very relaxed when they finished. For others, they have received some type of healing or it has given to them a greater clarity about their lives. Some people tell us that they have had seen some interesting visions during their meditation. A number of individuals have reported that they feel a new energy inside of their crystal skull after the meditation is concluded. Either their skull or skulls seem more activated and or that inside the quartz itself, the crystal has changed its form or become more transparent. Of course, it is not a requirement that you must join us each and every Sunday. Feel free to participate as you are guided or inspired to do so. We also believe that part of the reason for performing this group meditation is not only will it help to more fully activate the energies contained within our personal crystal skulls but that on some level it is setting up or enhancing the vibrational frequency within our planet to prepare for the arrival of other ancient crystal skulls that are currently being hidden for their protection. Thus if any of our readers do have a special contact or relationship with a caretaker of such a crystal skull who is unfamiliar with our meditation, please feel free to invite them to join us. We truly believe that this group meditation can make a big difference in our world and is helping to link together the energy of the crystal skulls with the individuals who are 40 actively involved with them. So if you are able to participate and join us, that would be simply wonderful. Please feel free to contact us at any time if we can answer any questions about this meditation or if you might have some new ideas about how we could expand or improve it. Thank you and God bless. Number 2, World Peace Meditations from 2009 to 2011, held on specific days, a special dream that is coming true. Please join us. Several years ago, we had an idea that sounded fantastic but we were unsure how we could make it happen. However, we felt one day we would know how to proceed, related to a special world peace meditation. The idea or the question to this meditation was, what if we invited every person in the world who is a caretaker/guardian of one or more crystal skulls, to join us for a meditation for peace on a specific day, where during each hour on that day, a group of people were performing such a meditation throughout the world? What could happen? As today, there are thousands upon thousands of new crystal skulls being carved each year, which means there are thousands upon thousands of people who have a crystal skull and are their caretaker or guardian. Well, while Joshua was in Italy for a Crystal Skull Conference in July of 2008, he woke up one morning and knew instantly how to organize such a peace meditation. However, it was not to be performed just on one day but for 7 days. Therefore, in addition to the weekly Sunday meditations, we would like to invite you to participate with us for a special series of 7 major meditations held between the years of 2009 to 2011, along with a series of minor meditations. The first meditation was conducted on January 1st of 2009 and now we are continuing on the 13th day of each month. If you would like to participate with us, may we invite you to visit the following page shown below. All of the details for these special crystal skull-based meditations are fully explained here, as well as a link to a page which describes how to do the mediation. Please visit http://www.v-j-enterprises.com/xworldbeastmeditations.html. Okay, finally, coming up next is a quick overview of our new book on the crystal skulls that you have been hearing so much about, which we hope to release before the end of 2010 or in the early part of 2011. We are very proud of this book, as we have tried to write it in such a way that it will provide the best information possible for every reader, regardless of their orientation and interest about the crystal skulls or heads. This book will include some of the most amazing and interesting stories and personal experiences people have had with the crystal skulls, perhaps even beyond what you can imagine. And of course, the book offers some provocative new insights about life and reality which these crystal friends wish to teach us or to remind us of that we already know about, deep within ourselves. 41. 42. Crystal skulls are human-shaped skulls comprised of various types of quartz crystals. A number of these ancient artifacts have been uncovered within various ancient ruins in Mexico and Central America. Who created these crystal skulls? Why did they make them? By which process were they fashioned, is a complete mystery. The following questions will be answered within this amazing book. Why are the crystal skulls resurfacing now? What research has been conducted to better understand the crystal skulls? Why are so many people desiring to have a personal contact with one? What is there about the energy that surrounds the crystal skulls that is producing tremendous and profound changes within the lives of the people who meet them? Join Joshua Shapiro with his partner Katrina Head, explorers of the crystal skulls, as they take you deep into the secret world of the skulls. Inside the pages of this book you will meet some of the most famous crystal skulls on the planet, as well as the special individuals who are intimately involved with them. Find out why the authors believe the crystal skulls are one of the most important ancient artifacts that have ever been discovered, and how these crystalline friends will ultimately take humanity into a time of total peace. Joshua Shapiro and Katrina Head have dedicated their lives to the study of the crystal skulls, as well as providing the very best information upon this subject through their public presentations, websites and books. Their crystal skull research is sponsored by the World Mystery Research Center located within the U.S. Joshua Shapiro and Katrina Head are involved with the feature film that will present a powerful story regarding how the crystal skulls will play a key role and bring forth a time of total peace for the earth in our near future, which Joshua has received will one day be called the New Dawn. 43 Journeys of the Crystal Skull Explorers Table of Contents. Summarized overview, dedication, forward, book objectives and overview. Introduction. Chapter 1, Time Flight of Destiny. The book begins with a story. It starts during the time of the Mayans in Mexico in the 16th century, as the Spanish conquistadors are beginning their invasion and looking for a talking skull. The story moves to our modern time, where we see a crystal skull has recently been unearthed in a Mayan ruin after being hidden for almost 500 years. The skull calls to a young man, whose soul was the one to hide it in this distant past. The skull has arrived just in time, as our world is threatened by a deadly disease that only the crystal skulls can help to cure. 44 Chapter 2, What are the crystal skulls? In this chapter we take a quick look at the material of which comprises the crystal skulls, quartz crystals, and discuss their properties. We define the three different types of crystal skulls known to exist in our world: ancient, old and contemporary. And finally we offer a brief history of some of the key moments that have occurred around the crystal skulls from the 18th century till present to bring them into the public's attention. Chapter 3, The Ancient and Old Crystal Skulls. Chapter 3 introduces our readers to a few of the ancient and old crystal skulls that are known in the world presently. We provide a physical description and history and offer comments from the guardians or owners where possible. The main crystal skulls that we discuss include: the type of quartz is in parenthesis, ancient Mitchell Hedges skull of love, clear, Ami, amethyst, ET, smoky quartz, Madre, and rainbow, clear, Synergy, clear, old, British Museum crystal skull, clear, and the Paris crystal skull, clear. We also briefly discuss several other crystal skulls that are known publicly following into these categories, as there is not enough space in the book for a full description. Chapter 4, Contemporary Crystal Skulls, the Caretakers. Next we take a look at the newly made crystal skulls, also known as contemporary crystal skulls. Here we hear from 8 owners, or as we call them, caretakers, of such skulls to compare their stories and experiences versus the older ones. You will meet Marion Webb de Soto from England, who has written the first book that focuses upon this type of crystal skulls. Additionally, we hear from Jaap van Eyden and C. Ravenia, young men, who each have more than 100 crystal skulls in their personal collections. 2 other good friends we introduce, who are working in the world closely with their crystal skulls, including Wendy Willett and Shivati. Next you hear from Blue Arrow Rainbow Eagle Woman as she discusses her personal crystal skull, known as Moses of Peace. Her and her daughter have over 300 skulls in their circles. Following this, we hear from Katrina Head about her rose quartz skull, the Guardian, and how this skull forever changed her life. Lastly, Joshua introduces his 10-pound smoky quartz skull, Portal de Luz, and about their early adventures. The last section is an honorable mention of other friends who are very active and work with their crystal skulls to share them with the public. Chapter 5, Contemporary Crystal Skulls, the Carvers. This chapter introduces our readers to 3 very special and talented carvers who have the rare gift to create a crystal skull. We hear from Carrie Robinson, Oregon, who has carved several human-sized skulls, including a movable jaw. You will meet one of the special carvers that work in Brazil, who has personally made over 1,000 crystal skulls of all sizes. Next, you meet Georg Brand, a master carver from Adar Oberstein in 45, Germany, a place where some of the finest gemstone carvers in the world live. Lastly, we introduce you to Moonhawk Gary Butler, who has been trained in the traditional ways to carve a skull that provides us a completely different orientation about what the crystal skulls represent to the indigenous people and their keys to activating them. Chapter 6 A Personal Adventure with 2 Crystal Skulls, with Joshua Shapiro and Katrina Head. Chapter 6 is our opportunity to share with the readers our most treasured stories and experiences with the crystal skulls. Joshua focuses about his experiences with the Mitchell Hedges Crystal Skull of Love, Ami, the Amethyst Skull, E.T., a human-sized smoky quartz skull, along with various visits with the British Museum Crystal Skull, including a very rare and private one with Blue Arrow Rainbow Eagle Woman. In addition, he speaks about the 3 journeys he has taken to Peru searching for a blue crystal skull inspired by an inner vision in 1990. Joshua finishes up with pieces of his crystal skull journeys in 2009 into Mexico City, seeing 6 old skulls, and a 6-week journey to Europe in the summer. This chapter finishes with Katrina Head sharing a few of her interesting experiences and stories working with the crystal kids and how they have helped her. Plus we include pieces of our travel reports from 2009 to 2010, going to Florida to see Dr. Brown's Atlantine Ball, a visit with Max in Atlanta, the 9-9-9 Conference in Arkansas, the Crystal Skull Conference in Mexico City, 10/09, our 14-day journey to Peru with the skulls, 11/09, our trip to the Americas Southwest, 12/09, and finally a visit to a labyrinth in Wisconsin and meeting hundreds of orbs, 3/10. Chapter 7, Personal Experiences and Insights with the Crystal Skulls, from various sources. The goal of this chapter is to provide an idea of the type of experiences that can happen to a person who has contact with an ancient crystal skull. Here we hear the stories of various people from different parts of the world about what happened to them while they were visiting or had contact, at times indirectly, with the Mitchell Hedges Crystal Skull, Ami and E.T. The chapter finishes with a few additional stories around our crystal skull, Portal de Luz, including the possibility of the existence of a gigantic crystal skull that may exist at the center of the Earth. Chapter 8, How to Work with a Crystal Skull, Personal Techniques and Exercises. This chapter focuses upon our suggestions about how the reader can select the right crystal skull for themselves. We also share our personal process that we use to activate our own crystal skulls, one in which our skulls indirectly taught us. Additionally, we included some personal stories about what effect our circle of skulls had upon people who came to our private sessions. Other topics discussed in this chapter include a simple system for protecting yourself from negative energy or thoughts, and we discuss a bit more about the Etheric Crystal Skull Energy Network. We provide some suggestions of how to prepare yourself when it's your time to meet in person an ancient crystal skull, and what are the differences between these older skulls and the newer ones. 46 Chapter 9 The Indigenous Views of the Crystal Skulls. Some researchers believe that if there is a group of people that live on our planet who perhaps truly understand what the crystal skulls are all about, this can be found within the various indigenous cultures. Some of these tribes, or nations, not only may have been guarding some very old crystal skulls for a long time, but also have a prophecy or oral traditions that have been passed down from generation to generation, which discusses the crystal skulls. Thus you will find in this chapter comments from 7 different Native American sources from North America and a few other sources that provide the perspectives from the Mayans, Toltec and the Inca. Chapter 10 Crystal Skull Research, Part I, Research conducted before 2000. Chapters 10-12 contain some of the most important information for this book. Within these chapters the reader will discover a wide range of different scientific research that has been conducted over the years related to the skulls. Chapter 10 focuses upon the key research conducted before the year of 2000 by various individuals and groups. We include a summary of the special research done by Frank Darland with the Mitchell Hedges Crystal Skull of Love in the 1960s-1970s. The face created from a mold of the Mitchell Hedges skull organized by published author Frank Joseph. The key work and investigation done by the Society of Crystal Skulls International, founded by Fr. Nick Notarino, and finally a special research project conducted for the BBC documentary created by Morton and Thomas at the British Museum in London in 1996. Chapter 11 Crystal Skull Research, Part 2, The World Mystery Research Center Experiments with Electronic Devices. The World Mystery Research Center, co-founded by Joshua Shapiro, is a scientific and educational non-profit foundation. Its goal is to research from a scientific and paranormal perspective a wide range of subjects considered to be world mysteries, including, of course, the crystal skulls. Within this specific chapter, the authors focus upon their involvement in various experiments and tests utilizing a number of different electronic devices. The goal for performing these tests was to better understand the energetic effect that the crystal skulls have upon the people who have had a personal encounter with them. Such devices which were utilized included meridian stress test systems, aura-based machines, a brainwave detector, a special energetically sensitive pendulum, and another device known as a Lecher antenna. Chapter 12 Crystal Skull Research, Part 3, The World Mystery Research Center Secret Codes and Crop Circles. This final research chapter involves secret codes that may be related to the crystal skulls, which can perhaps unlock their mystery. First, we look at the messages given about the crystal skulls using the controversial Bible code. Secondly, we present some 47 other hidden information in a pictorial format that is contained within the crystal skulls themselves using a special computer process that works with digital images of the skulls. The last part of the chapter deals with our experiments in various crop circles in England and Holland, when we brought some of our crystal skulls into these circles and discussed what happened to us. Some great stories in this section of the book. Chapter 13, Crystal Skull Theories. What is the purpose of the crystal skulls? Who created the ancient skulls and how were they made? Our final chapter takes a deep examination of various ideas and theories that originate from various sources with strong links to the crystal skulls, which discuss why the crystal skulls were created and by whom, how they were made, and what might be their ultimatum purpose, especially as it is related to our near future. You will hear the perspectives from a few well-known crystal skull researchers, as well as discover what information has been received through various psychics or spiritual channels who have worked closely with the crystal skull. Next, we take a look at the possibility of the existence of a special set of 13 crystal skulls that belong together. There are many individuals who have a strong feeling that such a set of skulls truly exist, as well as this legend has been revealed through various oral traditions of the Native Americans. We also look at a story told that states there is a unique set of crystal skulls that may have originated from a very advanced civilization that lives inside of our planet, the Hollow Earth. Additionally, in this chapter we review certain ideas given previously in the book to further answer the 3 questions we posed above, collected from various indigenous sources or from the personal experiences of those who had a contact with one of the ancient crystal skull. The chapter concludes with some final thoughts from Joshua about what role the crystal skulls are serving in our modern culture. Conclusion. Appendix A. Glossary. Appendix B. Crystal Skull Resource Section B.1 Caretakers of Ancient and Old Skulls. B.2 Crystal Skull Carvers and Sellers. B.3 Caretakers of Contemporary Crystal Skulls. B.4 Crystal Skull Researchers. B.5 Miscellaneous Contributors for the book. B.6 Contributors for Scientific Research. World Mystery Research Center, Bible Code Researchers, Crop Circle Researchers. B.7 Indigenous Contributors for the book. B.8 Internet Resources. B.9 Crystal Skull Books. 48. Appendix C. Bible Code Research with Moshe Sheikh, the complete analysis and study done by Bible Code Researcher Moshe Sheikh, supporting his information given in Chapter 9 that the Bible Code verifies the crystal skulls are powerful artifacts used by ancient cultures in the past. How to order your copy of Journeys of the Crystal Skull Explorers. At the time of the release of this free ebook, the printed version in English is not yet available but is expected to be released in by the later part of 2010 or the early part of 2011. If we are unable to find the resources to create a printed edition, we are also considering offering a membership website where every few weeks, a part of the book is made available to the members. If you visit the first page listed below, you can't fill out an online form, so we may be able to contact when the printed or online edition is ready and released, if the book is not already available. The second page below is about the book and the special offer we are giving for people who reserve their copy before the book is officially released. Please visit http://www.v-j-enterprises.com/form-announce-cse.html http://www.v-j-enterprises.com/contents.html If you would like to get a copy of the original version of this book, 2004 to 2005, which came out as an ebook, there are a few online stores which still carry it. This version of our book is in an electronic form and requires a copy of Adobe Reader registered trademark or Adobe Acrobat registered trademark in order to read it. It is over 500 pages and includes many colored photographs and illustrations with tables. Additionally, there was another edition of the ebook released in 2006 by the Filament Book Club that uses an ebook reader device. Places to order the Adobe ebook version. Diesel eBooks, http://www.diesel-books.com, Bookmall, http://www.bookmall.com, Blish.com, http://www.blish.com, Powell's Books, http://www.powells.com. To order for special ebook reader, Filament Book Club, http://www.filamentbookclub.com. 49. Crystal Skull Events with Joshua Shapiro and Katrina Head. Since 2001, Joshua has worked and traveled to numerous places around the world, and now is working closely with Katrina Head since April of 2009, in order to share key information about the crystal skulls with the general public. As you will read below, we offer various types of activities and events related to the crystal skulls, as well as an opportunity for an individual to have their own personal experience and contact with one. As we move forward, we intend to continue our outreach into many new locations within the world and to work more closely with other crystal skull teachers and caretakers. What does our public crystal skull event consist of? Public lecture, 2 to 3 hours. A slide presentation that provides a brief history and discussion about how the crystal skulls first surfaced and which ones are publicly known today. We then delve in various theories about their true purpose and why the crystal skulls are important for humanity's future. Lastly, we present the research we have been conducting with the crystal skulls through our World Mystery Research Center based in the U.S. Workshop includes the Lightworkers Toolbox, 2 to 3 hours. A continuation and further exploration into the key theories surrounding the origins of the crystal skulls. This workshop includes some hands-on work with an actual crystal skull and a discussion about the process that can bring your personal skull to life, or activate it. The workshop concludes with a talk about using, or finding, one's true inner or spiritual gifts to discover your life's purpose and help to create peace in our world. Crystal skull healing and intuitive consultations, an opportunity to work privately with one of our awakened crystal skulls. Receive an uplifting energy from Katrina, a gifted healer, and/or to have an intuitive question and answer period with Joshua, who works with his and your spirit guides. Meditation for world peace. We offer throughout our event a meditation working with the energies of the crystal skulls to send out to the earth a powerful energy for world peace. Joint events. In 2004, we began to investigate working with other crystal skull caretakers, researchers and teachers, including indigenous elders, which resulted in 3 small conferences in Switzerland and 2 crystal skull festivals in Europe, the Netherlands in October of 2006 and Hungary in October of 2007. From 2010 and beyond, we are hoping to offer more festivals within the world. To contact us or for more details, visit our website at http://www.voicejoshuashapiro.com/crystalskull-event/ If you would be interested to bring one of our crystal skull events to your local area or have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to get in touch. We believe that the message of the crystal skulls is very important for humanity's future. Hope to meet you at an upcoming event. Joshua Shapiro and Katrina Head, The Crystal Skull Explorers. Email crystalskullexplorers@mail.com. 50. A short description about our consultations with the crystal skulls. We thought it might be of interest for our readers to briefly discuss how we conduct our own private consultations in order to give to you an idea about how a person can incorporate a crystal skull into their own spiritual work. What we have done is to combine the individual spiritual gifts of the people helping in the session, working in tandem with the energy that is held by each of our personal crystal skulls. To set up for our sessions, we place on a table all of our working crystal skulls, facing forward, so that they are sitting directly in front of our client. We lay the skulls upon a special cloth such as animal fur. The other tool we utilize for our session is a portable CD player with headphones. All of our sessions begin with the meditation with music, while the client holds the skull of their choice in their lap. Essentially, our consultations serve 3 purposes. First, our client has a chance to experience the type of energies which are linked to a crystal skull. In some cases, this energy can act as a catalyst that triggers a personal transformation for them. This is the reason we ask each person to select which crystal skull they feel the greatest affinity to work with, as each of our skulls offers their own unique and individualized service. Second, our clients can receive a personal healing or just receive the appropriate, universal, energies that are necessary for them at that time. In general, these healing energies are given during their meditation with the music. And lastly, our clients have an opportunity to ask questions about their personal life, or at times we may receive some specific information or messages that are channeled that we are to share with them. Mostly, the type of information we receive deals with the potential creative or spiritual gifts the individual has, or what is their life's purpose. As to the type of healing the client can expect to receive during their session, this can range from some assistance for various physical and emotional problems or a type of mental block, or it can be connected with a karmic past life situation. For some of our clients, they require a certain period of time after their session for the healing energy to be completely integrated into their body, vibrationally. We recommend for our clients that they bring with them a personal crystal. This allows their crystal to record and absorb the healing energies present during their session, or whatever energy is being emitted by any or all of our crystal skulls. In this way, a client can continue to work with these energies and the information given during their session in the comfort of their own home by having physical contact with this crystal. Katrina and Joshua believe that the presence of the crystal skulls during their joint or independently done sessions greatly assist them in creating a peaceful and protected environment in the consultation room. Furthermore, they feel the crystal skulls makes them clearer channels so they can bring forth the most appropriate level of healing energies and information that will benefit each client. Additionally, they have observed on numerous occasions how their crystal skulls are able to help shift and balance a person's energy in the precise manner that they require. They have noticed during some of the sessions unusual phenomena which happen to and around their skulls. For example, portal de luz or anon have a tendency to change their internal color, becoming lighter or darker, or it is noticed that when they are held after the session has finished, their weight has changed too. 51. Interview with Bill Homan. Copyright Bill Homan. Photo of Mr. Homan taken in Sedano, Arizona, February 2008. Who is Bill Homan? The new guardian of the Mitchell Hedges Crystal Skull of Love. Note: this is an excerpt of a recent interview we conducted with Mr. Bill Homan from Indiana, who became the new caretaker of the newly named Mitchell Hedges Crystal Skull of Love in April of 2007 due to the untimely passing of Miss Ina Mitchell Hedges. The full interview will be contained in our new printed edition of Journeys of the Crystal Skull Explorers. See contact list on page 60 for the official Mitchell Hedges Crystal Skull of Love website. Q. Mr. Homan, can you tell us a bit about your life and background? Spirituality and God have always been the center of my life as far back as I can remember. I went to a Christian school and religion was my favorite subject. After graduation I continued my studies in world religions and various spiritual pathways, always being open to the experience of a more holistic way of living and thinking. In the 70s and early 80s I studied at Kankar, and that was where I learned to go within for the ultimate truth. Since then I have worked with the Rosicrucian teachings which have influenced me until this day. 52Q. When did you first hear about the Mitchell Hedges Crystal Skull? Bill, the first time I heard about the Mitchell Hedges Crystal Skull was when I was in the Air Force while stationed at Panama in 1968. I remember seeing a picture of it in an article I was reading and I thought it was strange that I couldn't take my eyes from it. While in Panama I ended up staying at a base near the canal. The pictures of F.A. Mitchell Hedges that were on the wall intrigued me along with the corresponding stories. One story is that F.A. was called to the canal to free it from a giant squid that had stopped all of the traffic. He had to harpoon it, carve it up in smaller pieces and tug the pieces out to sea. While I was on the lovely island of Toboga off of the coast of Panama I stayed at a wonderful hotel on the beach. The owner told me stories of Mitchell Hedges and his daughter Anna. They stayed at this hotel while sailing into the bay fishing for great sharks. These and other stories remained with me through the years. Many years later I heard about Anna Mitchell Hedges, Sammy, and the Crystal Skull from friends in Chicago. I called Anna and set up an appointment to meet with her in the Skull in 1981. Meeting Anna for the first time left me feeling like I have known her forever, and we became instant friends. That feeling only grew stronger as we spent more and more time together, and we both came to realize that our bond was karmic. When I saw the Crystal Skull for the first time it felt like meeting with an old friend. There was a feeling of respect, connection and communication with it. I almost felt compelled to work with it. Q. Can you expand a bit more about the special feeling or connection you had with the Crystal Skull when you first saw it? Did something special happen to you during this time, or was it just a strong feeling you had that you really know the skull? Bill, there was quite a bit that happened to me. If I think back to that time, it was like a major happening. That's why I didn't say more in my previous answer, because I couldn't remember exactly what happened to me then. Oh, but I do recall. There were dreams that took place afterwards that occurred during the Mayan times, and Sammy, Anna Mitchell Hedges, was there and the Crystal Skull was there. I witnessed a big ceremony with the Crystal Skull. And this wasn't just a passing dream, it was a powerful one, as if I was right in it. Beside the dreams, well, I would have to really put my mind to it and unravel it, and this is why I gave a simple answer before, because I didn't want to go deep into my mind and try to remember it all. But it was a major happening. It was a life-changing event. At that time, I was going in one way in my life, and all of a sudden when this happened, it changed my whole course and life direction. And I knew that this was my purpose and destiny, to be involved with the Crystal Skull. It was like an awakening. 53Q. And now Mr. Homan, you are the guardian of this Crystal Skull. What does this mean for you? In the last 8 years of Anna's life I had the privilege of having her live with me so that I could watch over her and take care of her. Because of our strong bond, she has honored me by trusting that I will carry on her wishes concerning the future of the skull. I believe the main message that the skull is trying to share with the world is for all of us to drop our egos and to work and support each other as if we are all one. That all living beings contribute to the whole and all are sacred. We are not separate from each other, we are all connected through love. Rather than live in our own single-minded consciousness, we need to embrace unity consciousness. Some of you may even wonder why I am now the keeper of the skull. I believe because of my past ties the skull is where it wants to be. It is multidimensional and would be gone if it didn't want to be here in this reality. I also feel that the crystal skulls are here to help man connect to a higher consciousness. That they work by connecting with the heart of man by breaking down the barriers that keep people from feeling oneness with each other. This is where the great healing takes place, and this is why we are now calling this the Skull of Love. To contact Bill Holman, visit the Mitchell Hedges website at http://www.mitchell-hedges.com. A photo of the Mitchell Hedges Crystal Skull of Love taken after the research we conducted in Indiana on behalf of The Sophie Show, aired May 28, 2008, entitled, Mystery of the Crystal Skulls. Permission granted by Bill Holman, caretaker. 54. World Mystery Research Center. In our world today exists many mysteries, some of which remain unsolved and others which cannot be explained by any kind of our modern-day scientific theories. It is the goal of our center to utilize all known methods of research, both scientific and paranormal, to try and uncover the truth and the hidden messages or information which lay encoded within each of these mysteries. More importantly, however, we believe that this hidden knowledge will ultimately provide vital information for the future evolution of humanity. The World Mystery Research Center is involved in a number of key areas of research that include crystal skulls, UFOs, the Bible Code, world prophecies, crop circles, indigenous wisdom and spiritual healing. The World Mystery Research Center was founded as a 501c3 nonprofit corporation in January 2001 in the United States, based in the state of Illinois. The center was started through the efforts of R. Joshua Shapiro, a spiritual author, investigator and speaker, and is presently working to form alliances and associations with other like-minded individuals and organizations throughout the world. We hope to open up other branches in other countries in the near future. To learn more about our projects, you can visit our international website listed below, or please contact us if you would like to review the research data that we have collected so far. We are happy to share information and respond via email. We are now actively seeking public support and donations to help us with our various projects. For those interested to be a contributor within the U.S., you can use your donation as a tax write-off. Only 25% is allowed, or for other countries please check your own laws. The monetary support we are seeking is to help build our research center, staff and materials, and to provide funding for the continuation of our research projects, expenses and equipment. To make your donation, please contact us via email and we will provide the instructions to receive your gracious help. World Mystery Research Center C/O, Joshua Shapiro, Bloomington, Illinois, USA. Phone, +1 312 473 2790. Email, joshuashapiro@worldmysteryarc.org. Website, http://www.worldmysteryarc.org. Skype, Joshua Shapiro 17. 55. Katrina's contact with the orbs and the link with the crystal skulls, 1999 and 2010. Q. When did you first encounter the orbs? Katrina, in 1999 while I was visiting Sedano, Arizona, I encountered the orbs. At this time, I was attending a conference about the Arcturians. Because I was receiving telepathic messages from the Arcturians, I wanted to learn more about them and I felt this conference could help me. So during one of the days of the conference, I decided not to attend the lectures as I wanted to just go out and experience the energy of the special vortexes in this area. For some reason, I was drawn to visit a church which was not far from the famous energy vortex known as Bell Rock, because the rock is in the shape of a bell. I was here during the very early hours in the morning. Just as I was walking past the church to go explore one of the nearby mountains, I was astonished as there were many colored lights, orbs, flying right at me which I could see easily with my physical eyes. These lights were of different colors such as pink, magenta, purple, violet and blue. It was very strange, so I was inspired to take some photographs. Note: one of the photos Katrina took is shown above. Q. Now Katrina, in March of this year, 2010, you and Joshua had a chance to visit the Bluff Trail Labyrinth near Madison, Wisconsin. In this location are being photographed many orbs. You brought your crystal kids with you. What were your experiences here? Katrina: I didn't see the orbs in this area so much with my physical eyes, but I could feel their presence quite strongly around the labyrinth. However, in the photographs we took during our visit, there were times when almost 100 orbs appeared at once. I did see the orbs appear in the bedroom where we stayed. But this was at the parents' home of Melanie, one of the owners of the land where the labyrinth had been built, and was several 56 miles away. The orbs did call to me, telepathically, though, and I was able to hear them. After we finished our full-day workshop on that Saturday, I was definitely called to go out to the labyrinth and be with the orbs. When I went out at this time, I could feel all kinds of spirits around me, especially Native American spirits. I believe the orbs were drawn here to this place because the labyrinth lies on sacred land. I remember during this particular visit in the labyrinth, I spoke to the spirits or the light beings, the orbs, and I asked them if they would come near where I had placed two of our crystal skulls, Portal and Geronimo, at the very center of the labyrinth. And they did follow my request, as through the photos we took, I saw orbs on the ground trying to move in closer to the skulls. This was the only time we had photos where the orbs were near the ground. Q. Is there any relationship, in your opinion, between the orbs and the crystal skulls? And did you notice any difference with your crystal skulls after they were placed within this labyrinth? Katrina: I believe that the type of light beings I experience contact with inside the crystal skulls are quite similar to the light beings I have experienced when I have had contact with the orbs. Also, I didn't notice that I couldn't hear the orbs so clearly until after I started to hear the spirits who were within or connected to the crystal skulls. Now, when I looked closely at our skulls after we left the labyrinth and came home, I could see their physical form had changed related to the inner visible contents of the skulls you can see. Also, I believe the orbs followed us, linking to us through our skulls, as after we moved into the mountains of North Carolina, just south of Asheville, the orbs started to communicate with me and asked me to go out at night into our backyard and take pictures of them, of which they always will appear. They continue to do this even now, July 2010. As a matter of fact, our friends who we are living with have access to night vision goggles and an infrared light which enables us to visually see the orbs in movement. Lastly, sometimes in my bedroom, late at night or in the early morning, I will see with my naked eyes the orbs come into the bedroom to say hello. If our readers wish to know more about our reports about the orbs, our photos and the live video, we are sharing this new research with the members of our free new newsletter entitled, The Unfolding of the Crystal Skulls. To get your copy of our reports, sign up at http://www.voicejoshuashapiro.com/newsletter-signup.htm. 57 tips for reading this book. This ebook has been created as an Adobe Acrobat document using the PDF format. We have done so because this is such a common and popular file format on the internet, and it can be easily read on a personal computer running either Microsoft Windows or Apple's Macintosh operating system. All that is required to read our ebook is a version of Adobe Acrobat Reader, version 6 or higher. This is a free program you can download from the Adobe Systems website. If you do not yet have your own copy of Adobe Reader, you can get one by going to the following website, http://get.adobe.com/reader/ You have the option to read this ebook directly on your computer, or you also can print the pages out. To print the pages from this ebook while you are running Adobe Acrobat/Reader, go to the File menu in this program and select Print. In the following pop-up window that is displayed, you are able to indicate to the program which pages of the book you wish to have printed. Author's note: please note that the page numbers within the book do not correspond to the page numbers that are shown within this program. In another part of this window is an option called Properties, where you can tell Adobe Acrobat/Reader if you want to print the book in color or not. We found a setting of normal seems to work well. You can jump to specific parts of our ebook by using the tab labeled Bookmarks. These are links to various sections in our book, or by clicking on an image of the page you want under the tab called Page. Note, any internet links, websites or emails in this ebook that are shown, or in blue, if you place your cursor over them, the cursor changes to a hand with the index finger pointing out. It will bring up your web browser or email program so you can visit the site or send an email. For viewing the pages, you shouldn't be afraid to adjust the size of the page image. This control is seen near the top of the toolbars and is shown as a percentage, 100% normally, with a dash, decreasing, and plus, increasing, clickable button next to this percentage size. For readability for the pages of this ebook we have found for Adobe Reader 5, 150-158% is best and also good for the pictures. In Adobe Reader 6, 118% or 125% seems to work quite well. Please feel free to use this control to view the pages and especially the pictures in a pleasing way and experiment with the right size that works for you. Lastly, if you have a LCD display or notebook computer, in order to view our book clearly there is a setting in Adobe Acrobat that will help you. For version 6 or higher, go to the Edit menu, select Preferences, then choose the smoothing option and choose Use QuillType. QuillType is the key to improve your display for your notebook. 58. Final thoughts from the authors. Because of what the crystal skulls could represent for the future of humanity, we believe that these ancient artifacts deserve a great deal more time, attention and study. Based upon our personal investigation into the skulls and from information we have gathered from numerous others, we understand the following. These ancient crystalline tools or receptacles, known as the crystal skulls, contain very important information and knowledge that will assist our world through a transformational process that will ultimately bring peace for our planet and its inhabitants. It has been suggested through the Mayan prophecy that this process will be completed by December 21, 2012 or what they call the Year Zero. This is not very far in our future. We have heard of other indigenous legends or oral traditions that also speak about such changes to our world, although they do not all agree upon the same specific date when this process will be completed. However, several of these sources also recognize the importance of the crystal skulls and the service they can and will offer to humanity. Regardless of where or from whom these very old crystal skulls originate, that is, advanced civilizations in the past or brought here from other worlds, it is very clear that their energy is having a significant impact on the lives of the people they touch. There are so many personal stories that we have received from others about how the skulls revitalized their health or their lives in some way. They are even a key catalyst for help people with spontaneous openings that occur related to their spiritual gifts or a hidden creative talent. Therefore, one may only conclude that the crystal skulls represent one of the most important tools of our time for helping to awaken the true inner potential within humanity. Perhaps they are the visible reminders on some level that we are all members of the same human family and now, more than ever, must unite together to create a better world that consists of more laughter and joy. We believe that in the near future, all will be revealed so that we will be able to more fully understand what these fascinating and mysterious crystalline objects represent. Thank you for joining us on this brief journey into the world of the crystal skulls. We look forward to sharing more with you in the future. In peace, light, love and joy. Joshua Shapiro and Katrina Head, The Crystal Skull Explorers, North Carolina, USA, July 2010?